All right, so we're gonna get started on what y'all are all actually here for, which is Michelle Williams. She's the only Survey123 Jedi that I know. She's a wife, a mother, and a serial entrepreneur. I still really like that tagline. You're just hashtag serial entrepreneur all the time. This is actually her third presentation with us, University of Texas. So hopefully she'll become a serial presenter for us if we can keep her around. But we'll bug her later about that. Michelle finished her master's in the GIS program in 2018 at the University of Redlands, California, where she learned actually straight from the source of the Esri wizards themselves. She currently works for ERM Environmental Resource Management, and she is the Survey123 trainer and mentor for their GIS folks there. She works in a plethora of industries, from archeology to demolition projects for pharmaceutical, why is that a hard word, Michelle? Pharmaceutical companies. She also teaches Survey123 courses in her Padawan Academy, which I think she's got one starting up in mid-August. So we'll have to share the deets with y'all on those because that sounds really exciting. And so this webinar is actually a more advanced look into Survey123, where when she was previously with us, she explained that she actually had a terrible concussion 2.5 years ago. You can check out our YouTube to get more information on how that impacted her learning and how she overcame that. And she basically had to relearn Survey123 from herself. So she rewatched her videos. Some of them she hadn't even made public, so thank goodness for saving those. So she was able to relearn all of her mad skills. She's been learning in bite-sized pieces and is definitely expanding the more as she goes outside of the universe of Survey123. So she's put together an amazing presentation for us, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Michelle, and let you go forth and conquer.
Thank you. I love all of this. I love your Rissa. Thank you so much, Texas, for letting me come on in. So if you didn't see that previous session, go and watch that, because that's going to teach you that wherever you are in your Survey123 Jedi, or your Jedi-ness, in your career, I had to start over. And it was hard, because Survey123 is hard anyways. And so I've been doing Survey123 for 7 years. And pretty much what ended up happening is I lost all those receptors in my brain that told me where to look things up. I became very linear. So I had to do things in order. I couldn't do things in order and then come at the end and say, oh, I should have put that here. It just didn't work out that way. So what this does for us is it helps you know that I already had to learn this, and I had to change my strategy from spewing on everybody and telling you how awesome I was, because I really thought I was. Sorry about that if you knew me that back then. But I had to learn a lot of different skills. I had to learn how to teach again, because I was going through my academies, and I'm going, ooh, that was a lot of information. I need to add some steps in here. So now what we've done is we are doing things in bite-sized pieces to make that a little better for you. So just a little bit about what we're going to do today is this is going to be how to pull data from a hosted service, and what that's going to do for you in Survey123 if your folks are online, and they will be online for the duration of the survey. You can use this. If they are offline, there's a different way to do this. You have to download the TPK files instead of the map package. So what we're going to do today is there's two different pieces. We're going to work mostly in ArcGIS Pro, and I have all these class files are actually in a file that you can request. So I know that we're going to get some of those links down for you. But so what we're going to do, ArcGIS Pro, we're going to create a map package. Map package goes into Survey123 Connect in the media folder. And then what we're going to do is we're going to share a web map to AGOL. And then we're going to be able to link that data to Survey123. And then what's great about that is, you have your attribute table on the back end. you can pull data from that attribute table. So your inspectors don't have to do it manually. Now, I believe you're going to get the copy of all these PowerPoints. So I've made some pictures to make it really easy. The first thing we're going to do is you're going to build out whatever your map is going to look like. I built this one out. It's near me, so it comes up real nicely. But you're going to go up to that map tab and mobile map, and you're going to go through this map package process. I like to save save mine to a file so I can put it in the media folder and connect Survey123 Connect to it, so the end user doesn't have to do anything. There are other ways you can do this. You can upload the package to AGOL. And then coming down here to the bottom, you're looking at those options. I like to create the displayed extent. So what I do is I use those side panels and the attribute table to kind of squish it so that that's all that they're going to get is everything that you see right there in that little square. The biggest part of this is this checkbox down here at the bottom, the reference online content. And what that's going to do is that's going to make sure that the computer is smart enough to bring in the base map and things like that. The second thing we're going to do is we are going to share as a web map, and we're going to publish that to AGOL. And then there's a few things that that you get to do. Down here at the bottom, you're gonna notice that if you analyze things first, you're gonna get a couple errors probably. The one that I get the most is this, is that top one. Let's see. Nope, the second one down, which is the unique numeric ID. And that's really easy to fix. You just click on it, and then down here at the bottom, you're gonna see that it says assign ID sequences. Just click that and the computer does it all for you. And then we're gonna share that map and click on those two things at the bottom, the symbol types compatible with all clients, and then put it in a folder. So that's what we're going to do today. If you are in offline, this is what they're going to see. So just kind of keep in mind that if this is okay and they go offline, they're still going to have that GPS. That's going to, their point's going to be exactly where it's supposed to be, but they're not going to be able to see me. And you're not going to get to pull that data in because you're offline. So just to kind of give you a little information on what that looks like. Now the next screen is the Padawan Academy, because I'm going to do a demo, but I like to get all this stuff out there so that you'll have it. And then I don't have to come back to slides because sometimes I forget. So this is the Padawan Academy. You can sign up at Survey123Jedi.com. We're 2 weeks in. We just had our second coaching call today, but you have access to the first 2 weeks in YouTube and the class files. So just to kind of keep you in the loop on all of that. Bad Elf is sponsoring it, so I brought my little lanyard so that they can be represented here today. I know they're with you too, so that's amazing. See my notes real quick. Yeah, request those, request the files. You can do that at you're going to get the link. It's Survey123Jedi.com/pull data HS. So there you go. This is me on LinkedIn. There's a lot of Michelle Williams out there. So that's what I look like. You know what I look like. So that's where you're going to find it. And I think that's the end slide. So I'm going to remove all of these. Thank you all so very much for letting me go through that with you. Pull up some files. That's my teaching document to make sure I know what I'm doing. All right, so I'm just going to go right into it, give you a quick overview of what you just did. If you're new to Survey123, what you want. This is that survey that you took. Now, I'm just showing you what comes out of Survey123. This is actually everybody and who's ever taken this, but I'm going to show you the data and we can filter it and you can see that too. What we're looking at is just all this information. And I love this information because it tells me what to teach next. A lot of you are going to be using less than 5 hours a week. There are some that it's going to be your life for the duration. These are some of the industries. Let me refresh because that might not even have today's information. Anyways, this all comes up. It just shows us what's in the can. So Esri does this really nicely for us. I I don't know how useful it is, but it's useful for us just so that you can see what this looks like. And we do have some additional industries. Thank you guys so much for doing that. And it tells us what's going on down here. And then we have, stormwater and some other things. These are our degrees and educational paths. So I just added this one. So this one's pretty new to us, but I added it because I wanted to know who our students were. We do have a lot of master's degrees out there. Engineering and construction. And then this is your skill level. So a lot of you have never used Survey123 before. I like the blue one. That is, they're great at Survey123. They just want to gather a few nuggets. So that's what that looks like. I'm going to show you the data from today. And that's just up here on the tab. And then what we can do is we can filter to today. Apply and see how many of us. So 40 of us today have taken this. I love that. Oh, 0 of 40. No, I think that's 40. That's probably today. So here's what you're looking at. My skill level. You can click here. I made surveys, but I broke it. That's a hard place to be. I was there. They're pretty good at making changes. And then we have some of you just want to come and get a few nuggets. Some of you never used it. And then scares me to make changes. I feel for you. We're going to get you through all of that. Those of you who are new, go to that first session. You're going to love it. It's going to teach you a little bit more of what we're doing. So what I want to do is I want to tell you what you're going to get, because I need to download a few things just to make sure that I have exactly what you're getting. This is that file, the class files that you're going to get access to. And then it's the, so Eurissa is going to give you the PowerPoint. This also has the PowerPoint. It's a little different flavor because I did this earlier. You're going to get the base map, or I'm sorry, I'm going to actually download this one. That is your Survey123 file, because I want to give you everything I can give you. All the formulas are in there so that we don't have to talk about the formulas. Link to the training video. This is also something I give to other folks, so that's why it's there. And a map package. So I'm going to download the map package also. And just to let you know, I've already created a couple things. So this is the hosted service that we created. All this ties together in just a moment. I just want to let you know it's all out there, how the back end is working. I'm going to show you how to do it, but for this time frame, I wanted to make sure we have working data going forward. All right, so we're going to go to Survey123, the desktop version, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. Okay, so this is the hosted service that I used before, and so I can show you what it looks like. I've been testing it over here. We're going to test it again today to show you how it works. So we would go in here and we would collect data just to kind of give you some information. I always use a family address book when I train, and the reason for that is it's global. If I did something like a utilities, and I always did utilities, I'd leave everybody out. So everybody can use this. Everybody can actually publish this, and you can have your family do it right after class. So there's your name field. This isn't sexy, but it's got a couple pieces of code in it. There's a mask. And so all you have to do is add a few numbers, and it'll be read until you complete the task. State, I've added 2 letters. If I try to do more, it doesn't do anything else. Length, I have 5 numbers in my zip code, so it's read until you maximize it. Now what we're doing is this one right here. So this is your geolocation. And you're going to see how we put this map together, but if you're zoomed out, there's no little numbers. But if you zoom in, the numbers start popping up. And so that's kind of some of the magic that you get to see. If I click here, I say okay. And there's a repeat in there. We're going to just scroll right by that. We're going to come down here to the bottom. So what you're going to get to do is this is your grid. This is all the data on that grid feature. We're just pulling data. The code is like a pull data at layer something. You're going to get all that. So you don't even have to take notes. And then what happens is I have a calculate field kind of calculation down here, and that's pulling in all this data up here. So you have your block numbers. Here's your block number right here. You've got your folio right here and your Compton number right here. Now, if we wanted to do more, we could do more. And now that you know how to do this, because I'm going to give you all the code, why did I pull that whole feature down right there in the beginning? I did that because if you're just pulling code like this block number, if you're pulling that down in 3 different places, you're pinging the service 3 different times. Now imagine you have 25 fields you're filling out. You don't want to ping the service 25 times. You want to do it 1 time and then and be able to go forward. Does anybody have any questions so far? I'm going to look real.
There is one in the chat, Michelle.
Okay.
So I'll read it for you, unless you are you already there?
Nope, whatever you want to do.
Okay. So Matthew Reed said incidental at worst. He just has a question regarding the zip. He says it's a text, but only takes 5 characters. He would have assumed text because of countries like Canada and UK, but some of those are actually 6 digits, if he remembers correctly. So why wouldn't you use a long instead of a text?
That is a great question. Thank you so much, because that's a great question. So the reason you're using text for things like APN numbers, zip codes, phone numbers is because you're not going to do any calculations on those. When you're grabbing those and sorting, it's a text. It's you're not gonna do a sum of all the zip codes. You might count them because you want to know how many, but you're not going to add them together. So does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because that was a great question.
I'll see what it says, but that's like one of my pet peeves too. I'm like, if it's a number, shouldn't it be a number? Like in my head, that's how I think, because I know text sometimes sorts weird in Arc Pro and when I'm looking at the data. So that was a good question to ask, because I would have thought the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we do. We do text for anything that you're not gonna count or sum and do those type of calculations. So and there's another one. Oh,
I think they're all just kind of commenting and adding.
Okay. Okay, let me go. I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you exactly what you're asking the good questions. Let me, I'm going to download a new one so that you can see what this looks like. Because it sounds like we want to go deep into Survey123. The other stuff, if we don't get to at the end of our time, you can go look at the video that I put in that class file.
Sorry, Michelle.
No, that's okay. This is good. I know where you want me to go. I'm totally pivotable.
I love it.
So we're going to go into Survey123. Yours probably won't look like this. There's a lot of testing going on and things like that. So go to new survey. We're going to call this, I have a name for that. What do we want to call that? Oh, I didn't do that here because I was going to skip this whole information. This is good. So we're just going to call it family, address, book. We're going to put the date. 08. I learned this from my professors, so they can go in, they can delete these when they're all done. I'm going to look for a file. I know it's in my download folder because I just put it there. Downloads, and it's right here. Now, there's some fun things in here for those of you who are new to Survey123. There's some fun other pieces here, these templates and these samples. Those are fun to go into and kind of look and see what other people are doing, because you get to see everything in action. But for today, we're just going to continue down this path that we're going. All right. Now, what we're looking at, I'm going to show you how I set up my screen, because I always have folks who are watching me. And it's easier if we do it this way. Oops, where's that going? That little zoom bar at the top gets me every time. All right, this is what you're going to get in that classroom file. That's why I downloaded it, so I know exactly what you're getting. You're asking about some of this text. So right here, that's your zip file. Let me do some editing enabled. So we're looking at the zip. You might want to look at state also because it has that to length and then the mask. So these are a lot of fun. The way that I set mine up is I put my repeats in a different color because it's easier for me that way. I always put green as my appearance because I use that all the time. I use default and calculation all the time and use that field length. So some of you are asking about that field length. What if it's a different digit? All you have to do is you can put 4 here, or let's see, or you can fix it here. So I would now, I did both because I want to condense it and I want it to be a mask. So I added them both. There's your 4. Just make sure that you fix this one over here to 4. Otherwise, one will break the other. Because it won't come if it's 4, if one's 4 and one's 5 and you're trying to do it, it's not completing the sequence. So you may have some issues there. So just keep that in mind. The state, we did those as 2. You can also in the mask, I think it's AA at the top, and that should make those capital because I didn't have any capitals. Double check this. No, that one's not capital. There's one out there that the codes are out there. Just look for input masks, Survey123, and they'll give you all the codes for that. I'm just trying to get that one off the top of my head. AA was what I thought capitals were. I don't think that's what it is. It didn't work that way. So, so we got our mask, we got our length. Let's see, was there anything else I can go through at this moment? Let's see here, zip codes. Okay, I think we're good. If you have any more questions, come off of mute as we go or drop them here and somebody ping me so that I can walk through those as we get through them or get close to them. So this is what we have so far. I want to show you down here. This is what we're learning today. And I put a note here so that everybody knows, make sure this is long enough because I had it too short and I had to make it bigger. I had to make it 500 characters because I didn't look at it ahead of time. So next time when you're working on stuff, just make it long enough. I made it multi-line because if it's really long and you don't want your text to wrap around if you want to view it. You can also make this hidden so that folks don't see it, but I left it open for you just in case you needed it. I made the bottoms read only. And the one that you want to look at, this is your calculations. So what we're doing is we are using a JSON file and we are going, this is the grid JSON 500. That's where you're looking there. That's your field. And then we're getting the attributes from this header, block number, folio number, and competent number. So it's really very beautiful, but we still have more to go. We have to do those 2 maps because this data only works when you're pulling information from the hosted service. So let me look at the chat. Looks like we have 2 new things. Okay.
Yeah, one of them, when they hear repeats, they think of the children tables and the foreign keys. What does Survey123 use for a foreign key to relate the child table to the parent?
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so the child table and the parent table use the GUIDs. So it magically puts your relationships together for you. You don't have to worry about that. When you tell this repeat, the computer automatically knows that it's going to create a, in the child, it's going to create a parent and a GUID. The GUID is for that record and the parent links it to the parent record. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay.
I'll show you. Follows up.
If we have time, I'll show you. Actually,
and is there a recommended limit to the number of repeats you have in a survey?
No, because I've done it all. So we had 5 repeats and we had 5 nested photo repeats because we wanted them to be able to take photo after photo after photo inside the repeat. I haven't found a limit. just know there was, I haven't maxed it out yet, but in your inbox, when you're bringing that data back into the inbox, it will only bring a maximum number of records. So if you have 50,000 records and you're trying to bring those all down, probably not going to work. And if you're bringing down the repeat data and those photos, those each count as their own record. So let's say it used to be like 1,000 and then they went to 3,000. I don't know what it is right now. But so if you have 3,000 records and you have each of those, or you're pulling back in the repeats and the pictures, you've got 3,000 records, 3,000 of these or whatever, and these over here. So keep that in mind. Be smart about your inbox when you get there. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, take this Survey123 Jedi, take my classes. We'll get you up to speed in no time. So.
And then another one rolled in because we're just going to keep rolling.
Yeah, go for it.
Is it possible now with different repeat groups of questions to reference the same table or feature layer if the repeat questions are all the same?
So you have a repeat question that you want inside 5 repeats and you want the answers to be the same. Is that correct?
We're gonna, hopefully they'll chime in quickly.
Okay, I'm going to answer that. Hopefully this will help you. If you have data that you need in all your repeats, I would add it to the main field up here, like put a new field up here or whatever, wherever you need that data to go. And I will, whatever it is, we'll call this dupe or duplicate or something. And then I would come down here somewhere, probably before the end repeat, because we don't need them to see that maybe, or maybe we do, I don't know. And I would probably call this dupe inside if I was doing just one. And then I come over here to calculate field, and I would grab this, and this is how you put together a calculation. So then you say save. There's a lot of logistics. I love Tetris. If you love Tetris, you'll love this. It's a hard learning curve, but I don't think it's going away. In fact, I have the creator of Survey123 on my LinkedIn, and we're going to get together and I'm going to ask him those questions because I ask him about every year. So is field maps going to take over Survey123? What does that look like? And so far he said, no, we're going harder and stronger with Survey123 because it does those things that field maps can't do. So until he tells me otherwise, I'm just going to love it where I live. So right here we have dupe. And so we might say, whatever that looks like, hit the enter button, and there it is. And I would probably put this one as a read only so that they don't change it unless you want them to be able to change it. I do that as a reverse also. Because sometimes in your in certain third-party apps, it only wants to read from the main survey. We'll copy data down here. Copy and paste. And this one, you can't have the same verbiage in that field right there. And then I might say, there is another piece of code to this though. So if you need that, let me know. There is a piece of code that tells it to calculate every time. If you don't, it only calculates the first one and then it blocks all the rest. So that's kind of cool code. Let's go back. So we're going to make these maps real quick. Keep them coming. If you got them, just come off mute and tell me what they are. So what we're looking at here is our pool data. I have to remember where I am. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is do that map. We're going to share a map, share mobile map package. Oh, I probably should zoom in a little. There we go. I'm going to do my save package. I probably called this a lot of different things. So we're going to call this Texas on 0827. And you can put your summary and you can put your tags. This is that display the extent. That's where you're going with this. Here's your reference And then here's your analyze. We are good with the analyze on that one. Now we're going to package it. And I don't know where I put that, so I'll show you how to find that. All right. Nice. I clicked on that bottom one and it took me exactly where I wanted to go. Now we need to go to Survey123 and put that in Survey123. So we still have it open. We want to go to the folder here because we want to get to our media folder. That's what this one looks like. So this is all the data Survey123 creates for you. And then the media folder is always empty. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that Texas with today's date, put that in the media folder. Then I have to come up here to this update button, and that does that handshaking so that the computer, the software, all of that works together. And what we can do is we can publish that. We can do our options. I always enable sync. I know we're talking about being offline and online. We want everybody to be online, but I enable sync just in case there's one tiny area they get to and they can't do anything. So this will actually put it on their computer or their device, just in case. There's always that one area that's a dead zone. Always go in here and do this analysis. It's got 5 informationals, and if you've never done this before, you just click on this Excel file. And it's going to tell you some cool information. It's going to tell you the template is outdated. That's because in one of my classes, I'm going to show you how to fix that. The instance name is not set. That's okay because we're just in testing, but that's what that inbox is. It'll give us some information just from the computer, just pull some data in. But there are some codes to that, and you'll find that out if you take any of my classes. This challenge note, there doesn't need to be text inside of this one. So I'm going to just show you that real quickly. The reason for that is notes. Let me do something real quick. The filter, I like filter, makes it easy. Then I can come over here and do note. There's no notes in there. Okay, is it, what was it? I wasn't paying attention. I thought it was a note. Challenge note question. Okay. Oh, they're at the bottom. So this is a LinkedIn and this is the challenge. I delete those because as a note, it's kind of like that null value. It will keep it a null value unless you add something here. And that's why the analysis works really well. So I'm just going to save that. We're going to publish it now that we know what we're doing. And, oh, let me just show you a couple. Actually, I'm just going to publish it just like it is because we're going to go through these bottom ones in just a minute. So publish, publish. And then while that's working, I'm going to go over here and then we're going to do that second part of our step, which is going to be that sharing of sharing the base map. Okay, so we're going to close this and we're going to share. Let me remember how to do this. Share web map. Share a web map. Okay, so this one here, I'm going to put just today's information. And I think it's going to give me an error because I don't know if I had some information over here, but it will find that out in just a minute and I'll show you what it does. We can put a location folder. I'm just going to put it in the root for now, and I'm going to share it with myself. We're going to do an analyze. And there's that unique number, and it's really easy. Just click on that. Click. Oh, it's way over here. It didn't open up. Something was open. All right. I was just in my notes, and that's not the screen I'm used to. Oh, this right here, the 3 dots. Auto assign sequence. And now we can analyze. And now we can share. That's going to take a little while, so we're going to actually use a different one, but I wanted to kind of give you that information on how that's going to work. We're just going to let that run in the background.
While that runs, we had another question.
Sure.
Is there any way to access the photo attachments table directly in Survey123 hosted on ArcGIS Enterprise?
There is a way on your phone. They're actually all in a folder. As far as online, what I like to do is I like to go over here, and we can, if there were pictures in this one, let me see if I can find something with pictures. There's a lot of tricks, workarounds and all of that. Find something. I don't know if I have any pictures at this time. Maybe. Let's see if this one is. Data. Oh yeah, this one has pictures. So if you just want to see them, you can come over here, and then I don't know if I have one there. Try this one. Nope, there's only 2 of them in there. We were just playing with it. You can see pictures here. There's a way to pull them into a dashboard. Experience Builder, I think they're trying to work on something if they haven't already completed that. What do you need the pictures for? Because there's also a Python script that you can get from GitHub. Do you just want to use it, or you just want to see it, or do you want to use them?
You can unmute if you want to chime in. They're just going to leave us on the edge of our seats.
Okay, that's okay. As we get going, if there's something that you want to see, let me know. Access photo attachments directly in Survey123 hosted. Okay. So
they said we want to use them.
Okay, so in ArcGIS Pro, you can, there's a few things that you can do. You can grab that hosted service if there were photos in here. Catalog. Let's see here. Here we go. I think it is photo to point or something. Tagged photos to a point. And so you would bring your hosted service into ArcGIS Pro and try this and see if that works for you. I would also make sure that you have a table for your invalid photos, because those are probably 0, 0, and they're probably going to get put somewhere else. But they will actually give you, they will export the photos and put them on, give them a point. There's also a GitHub, just in case you can ping me through LinkedIn or something, and I'll find that for you, and I can get that to you. If code doesn't scare you, sometimes code scares me. All right. So the next thing we need to do in Connect, because now we've pushed all that information up, first you have to publish your survey with that little base map in the media folder. Once that's done, you can come over here into, I'm going to just make this bigger because we don't need the rest. So you have your details. That's where your thumbnail goes. Your thumbnail picture is a JPEG, and it's 1 word, because if you ever need to use this on a browser, 2 words will confuse it. Put your title, summary, description, all that. Here, I always put updates. Just know that if you're pushing field maps to Survey123, this is not working for you. You have to tell them to go into Survey123 and download the newest version. It skips that whole homepage right now. So keep that in mind. Inbox, if we were using an inbox, and I always turn off my sent box in case you really, if you need it, that's different. But if you have an inbox and a sent box open and you pushed up a record for item number 1, and you're trying to retrieve item number 1, it will get stuck because this one here already exists. And now you're trying to pull a new one in. So I always turn off the sent folder if I'm ever going to use the inbox. Then your map, and this is where you can link that, that map that we put up there, Texas. And it's going to be in somewhere. That's Oak Glen. It's down here. Okay, Joshua Tree. That's where I put it. So now it's there. This is everything in your media folder. This is your linked content. This is where you're going to link that hosted service. So this map is useless to me, so I always break it off. Unlink. If you need it, it's okay. You can keep it there. And then go up to online map. And that's today's, yes. And say okay. And now if we publish it, now everything connects. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, close, close. So this is my desktop version so that I can see. There it is. Go to your icon at the top and download your next survey. There's today's survey, download. There it is. We can hit collect. And what we're looking for is this map right here. Say go. And there it is. Now, do we have any questions? There is a question. If anybody has questions, that's great. There's a question that I just saw. Is it possible to add comments to the photo without creating a repeat? There is. What I would do for that, so you're looking for an image. Let's put your image in here somewhere. Image, and we'll call it image with comment. Now there's a couple cool things you can do. You can also put a watermark on your images. That might be helpful for what you're doing. If you need it in a report, you could do it this way. So we're just going to say image, and then we're going to go text, and whatever, image text, and comment. Now, just so that you know, I would not make this image multi-line, because if you put it as multi-line, it'll let you do repeats, but you only get one text underneath it. If you need 7 pictures and you want to do it that way, I would take this and copy it 7 times and just change these names. And you probably want to say what you're taking an image of. So I hope that helps. That was fun. See what else I have up here.
Oh, we got a couple popping in.
Okay.
Did you read the one from Mahima and I missed it? About analyzing the data collected to the survey?
Analyzing the data.
Okay, I can read it. I was just making sure
Okay.
I didn't totally space.
Okay.
When we're analyzing the data collected to the survey and someone makes manual edits, is there a way within Survey123 or ArcGIS to prevent this from messing with the analysis?
What kind of analysis? What are they messing with that's messing up your analysis?
I can give more context.
Excellent.
Thank you for taking this question, by the way. So when I worked with Operation Border Health with the DSHS last year, we were using Survey123 to collect medical records. So we were charting trends of disease incidence, prevalence, the kind of treatments and things like that. And all of our patients' files, encounter files, were being collected via Survey123, and somebody at the other end was making sure that everybody who came in went out, that numbers kind of thing, and they were also making edits to the collected information as well. And when we were trying to analyze trends and work with the data later, that really threw us for a loop, because one issue was not everyone had the same version of the document, but the second was making those manual edits kind of broke the programming we had to analyze them. So is there a way to automate and kind of preserve the data collection process on Survey123 to make sure that once the data is collected in a certain way, it can be directly analyzed, and any edits made wouldn't interfere with that? I'm not really sure if that question actually makes sense.
I like that question, because you want the data That's the good data. And you don't know if this QC data is good or not because it's not really QC, they're just manually editing. What I would do, now they're all using Survey123 to update their data, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so what they're going to do, what you want to do is you probably want to make a couple different surveys pointing to the same data. When you do that, you have to build out Survey123, your massive one first. Then you publish all of that. It gets real complicated though, because if you start adding fields and stuff, it gets a little complicated.
Right.
But if you're good with that, it's okay. And then you can take just point the first survey where you're getting all your patient data. You can grab all that data first, and then you know that data is safe. Nobody's going to touch it. What I would do is make a copy of that and put it into the QC area. And now you can QC that data without any issues. And then I would send that data, I would point a new survey to that data and send that out to your QC people.
Okay. So it would involve making 2 surveys or 3 surveys. Well,
it really depends on what you want to do with that. I mean, if you want to save your data, that's what I would do. And then you can have some code that says, is this one different than did something change on this field? And you can do some stuff like that.
Okay. Very cool. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Another one, and Jordan, I think, kind of gave his 2 cents on it too, but somebody asked, Christopher Smith was asking, would Survey123 be the best format for setting up inspection surveys for inspectors to answer on asset inspections? He wants to set up QR codes to allow for the field inspectors to scan the asset and then answer questions on the asset.
Okay, and then Jordan said?
He said there were options, but he would go with Survey123 basically.
Yeah, I like Survey123 also because there's a barcode reader inside Survey123. And the great thing about that is I really want to I want to go to some site, like a demolition site, and I want to put QR codes on the rooms. And I want to say, is this the first inspection? Here's your QR code. It's the second inspection, third inspection, whatever those inspections look like. And then they can just scan that, and that QR code will have all the data behind it, and it'll drop it into their survey, and all they have to do is go in and answer 3 or 4 questions. But yeah, I like Survey123 also for that one. Oh, let me tell you one thing that we learned along the way. If you are a botanical garden and you're using ascension numbers, the barcode does not work because there's an asterisk right in the middle, and an asterisk is a wild card. So if you have asterisks in your code or in your barcodes, you want to make sure you don't have an asterisk or a question mark or anything like that. You are so welcome.
I think right now we did have an additional comment from Sean saying they found some of the Esri local government solutions to be helpful.
I like Brandy, so yeah, yep. Follow her if that's something that you're interested in. Hey, we made it. I'm so excited.
And anybody else, make sure you're putting your questions in the chat so we don't miss you. We got a few minutes left. I don't know if you had anything else, Michelle.
I'm going to add those links just in case somebody come in late.
Yeah, excellent. While you do that, another question popped in.
Oh, sure.
Is it possible to write, I may butcher it, EXIF data in the photo attachment table while taking the photos? Same for keyword field. Is it possible to be used for notes, especially if we have multi-line for photos and don't want to copy it multiple times?
Okay, there's a few questions there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, focus on the first one then.
That's okay. Yes, you can. There's code for XF data. You have to do the picture first and then put your calculations in for all the XF data. That could be your lat long, your elevation, direction. There's a whole Esri document that can help you with that. Something you might want to do is just figure out what you need. And then you may have to go play with a couple pieces because direction, I think there's a few different directions. One's like north, south, east, west. One's a number. There's different ones. So yeah, you can definitely do that. And then what was the other one? keyword field.
Oh.
I'm not sure what a keyword field is. Can you help me with that one?
See if they chime in.
It is possible to edit to the attachment in ArcGIS Pro together with the EXIF field, and I was curious if it's possible to use that one as a place where we can put notes when we take photos.
You can pull the XF data from the photo, and I think what you're asking is, can you put a comment in there?
Yes.
You could put a comment underneath. That would be your next one. That's you would just use a text and then and then name it something, and then put your alias in there, which is called a label, and make it long enough, whatever you think is long enough. The default for Survey123 is 255 characters. So if you need it longer, make it a little longer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Oh, and the other question was, when you do that for the multi-line, you're going to get one. It's not my favorite thing to do. So if you're using photo with multi-line, your comment needs to be global for all the pictures they just took. So they might say, you know, there was a bat in the tree. We also found it, and you know, in photo 2, there was a nest of something else over here, and we are in, you know, a wetland or whatever they need to add, and that they've taken pictures of. So just keep that in mind. The comment underneath that multi-line photo is going to be, it's probably going to be long, and maybe you want to guide them, say, you know, you use the shortest amount of directional words or something, so that they know that they can't use all the little words in there.
Is it possible to populate coordinates in local mine coordinate system instead of decimal degrees?
There might be a way. I haven't done that. So if anybody has an answer to that, that'd be great. If you have a piece of code that you want to put in, that would be great. I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen again if I haven't. There it is. Let's go look it up together. I found that my master's degree taught me how to Google. So if you have a master's degree, good for you. Is it called mine? Let me see. I delete somewhere. Mine like this. Is that right? M-I-N-E. I lost. Okay. I lost all my chat. From decimal degrees. Maybe it's in here. They usually have. Calculations. I'm looking for, there's dates. Let's see if they have one for latitude, longitude. I'm wondering, you see this XY right here? I'm wondering if there's a piece of code that you could add to that. Feature layers. I don't have an answer for you right now. If somebody has an answer, that would be great. I don't work in that, so I don't have.
Nope. Appreciate you trying, Michelle. Hopefully somebody chimes in, but if not, Googling seems to be definitely the way to go on that.
That's where I would look. Maybe somebody in your field, maybe not at your work, but maybe somebody who you follow on LinkedIn. You maybe even just post it out on LinkedIn and ask that question. Somebody may have something for you. Oh, let's look up exec data. Maybe you have to take a picture first. And if you know Ishmael, he's amazing. You can follow him, but I think he's gone to a different community, so you'll still get all his older information. Looking for lat long. So this is all the data that you can get. So here's your latitude, or your lat long. These are like things that most people would use all the time. There's all these more. I don't see anything, but that was fun. There might be a calculation you may have to do it on the back end. When you get into Pro, maybe some Python script that runs nightly, if you can't find it.
Awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I think that's wrapping up our questions. Perfect timing. If you have anything else, y'all have questions for Michelle, just reach out and we can definitely get y'all in touch. She showed you her LinkedIn. You know how to find her.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Michelle. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.